Hi everybody, this is Dr. Brichter Von Doom.
Alright everybody, in today's video we're going to compare and contrast some of the exclusive LEGO minifigures that appeared for the very first time in the Daily Bugle set released in 2021 with some of my own custom creations of the very same characters. Interestingly, I actually made all of these minifigures before the Daily Bugle set was even released, so since I had them and did acquire the Daily Bugle set, I thought it would be a good opportunity to contrast my creations versus what LEGO created. So the three minifigures, or three characters we're going to look at today are the Punisher, Daredevil, and Blade. So let's get right into it. So first up we have Blade. On the right we have the official minifigure from the 2021 Daily Bugle set, and on the left we have my purist creation using all official LEGO pieces. The advantage of my version is that you can easily source most of these pieces and create your own Blade if you can't afford the enormous Daily Bugle set. So let's go through how I created mine step by step and compare and contrast the two versions. So to start off with, my version actually has hair. This is pretty important as most versions of Blade in the comics and in movies do have hair. Now he usually has a crew cut with some intricate patterns on the side, very difficult to replicate in LEGO. So what I used was the Mohawk piece that came out a couple years ago, and I think it provides a pretty accurate representation of the character. Next up, I used Falcon's face from the Civil War sets, although you could just as well use the heads from the Infinity War sets as they look very similar. They have the classic goatee for Blade, as well as the red tinted goggles or glasses. And if you utilize the face with the grimace, he's showing his teeth, which is pretty authentic to the character. Overall, I'm quite pleased at how closely this resembles the official LEGO version. Next up is the torso. So this torso is from a character called Snake Rattler, who's the main villain in the 2021 winter sets for LEGO City. And he has the black jacket, which is very classic to Blade. And underneath he has enough buckles and straps and a generic sort of gray torso that it does actually resemble body armor, which is pretty appropriate to the character. And as a nice little added feature, this character is wearing a fang around his neck. And in Blade's case, you could imagine that it is a fang he took from a vampire that he killed and is now displaying it as a trophy and as a way to intimidate other vampires. Looking at the official LEGO version, this Blade is a bit up-armored as he has a lot of metal on his torso with a breastplate meant to ward off sharp attacks. And he also has bullets on his belt, but he is still wearing the classic black leather coat, and both of them have black pants. So giving you a 360-degree view, they both have the dual wielding katanas strapped to their back. The official version has the black scabbard, whereas mine has the brown scabbard. I do like the black one more, but the brown one is much easier to find, and hopefully you guys have easy access to one either on the secondary market or just lying around your piece collection. So there you have it, guys. My purist version of Blade versus the official LEGO version. On the whole, I do really like the LEGO's official version. It definitely looks like Blade. He's got a good look to him, and he looks ready for a fight. But if you can't afford the Daily Bugle set, or afford the official Blade version on the secondary market, I think my way of creating Blade is a pretty good alternative, and he looks pretty good and would fit in with any collection. So hopefully you'll be able to find those pieces and make your own Blade. Alright, next up we have everybody's favorite vigilante, Frank Castle, aka the Punisher. On the right we have LEGO's official version from the Daily Bugle set, and on the left we have my own creation of the Punisher using all official LEGO pieces. You can tell right off the bat that I chose a different hair piece than the official version. I don't mind what LEGO chose, but I find that Frank having just a slicked back utilitarian look works quite well. For the head, I was fortunate enough to have the face from Jango Fett from one of the Episode 2 Attack of the Clones Star Wars sets, and I think it's just perfect for Frank Castle. It's got the 5 o'clock shadow, it's got lots of cuts and scrapes, and it just captures the essence of the Punisher very well. I quite like LEGO's official version, actually. This is just one side of the face, but this is the more battle-scarred version, and cheeky LEGO, they put a band-aid over his eyebrow, because after all, these are children's toys, and we wouldn't want to show anything too graphic, like a skull. Next up, for the torsos, LEGO went with a very realistic rendition of the Punisher's classic torso. We have the authentic looking skull print on the chest with his ammunition belt feeding in as the teeth. I mean, this is a wonderful bit of artwork and rendition of the classic Punisher look, but it's not very Lego-fied. My version, however, is actually very Lego-fied, as you have the classic little Lego skeleton head on his chest, and this was taken from, I think it was one of the custom, or one of the collectible minifigure series with some kind of punk kid. You just had to swap out the arms for black ones. Both LEGO and I opted to use the classic white glove approach, which I think just adds pop to the Punisher's outfit. And then what I did was utilized the white utility belt, which came with Luke Skywalker in one of the small vignettes of him on the Death Star. Not the easiest piece to find, but I don't think overly expensive when I did find it, and I really like how it turned out. You don't get the continuation between the utility belt and the skull like you do in the official print, but it adds a 3D character to the picture. It gives the utility belt a sense of weight and heft, and I think it actually conveys the gist of the character quite well. Now, for my Frank Castle Punisher, I just opted to go with pure black pants. I did experiment with ones with printing on them, but I thought it actually detracted from the pure white on black approach of the torso, and so preferred just the generic black pants. It's actually quite hard in other sets to find pants like the official version does have, with the dual molded black and white boots, although I think that does work quite well for the official version. Now, in terms of hardware, which is very important for the Punisher, LEGO gave him two guns, the kind of Uzi automatic looking pistol in his left hand and some sort of souped up shotgun in the right. And I thought that was an appropriate combination of weapons for him, as the Punisher does like to go into situations heavily armored. I opted to create more of a automatic rifle, machine gun kind of weapon for the Punisher, using just a few modified pieces on a standard rifle, and I think it works quite well, but really you can just mix and match to your heart's content to give the Punisher all kinds of lethal hardware. So there you have it. You have the official LEGO version of the Punisher, and you have my attempts at recreating the character using commonly available 100% authentic LEGO pieces. So hopefully this gives you inspiration to create your own Punisher if you can't get the official version in the Daily Bugle set, either by buying the set itself or getting it on the secondary market. And let me know what you guys think of both of these versions in the comments below. And last but certainly not least, we have Daredevil. On the right, we have the official minifigure from the Daily Bugle, and on the left, we have my own attempts to recreate the character using 100% official LEGO pieces. Now, I have to say that the official version is probably my favorite minifigure that we've reviewed in the video today. I think the all red look just looks super sharp, and the torso printing is spot on, as is the face printing. But if you like my version, I'll tell you how I created it and you can try and replicate it. So the horns I got from the Oni Warriors from Ninjago. You could just as well use the Black Panther horns from the Marvel sets, although those tend to have some printing on top, whereas the Oni Warriors don't, and those minifigures aren't in high demand, so they're probably the cheapest to get. For the head, I used Calendar Man from one of the Lego Batman movie sets or collectible minifigures, and I think it has a good black and red combination that kind of gives the vibe of Daredevil, particularly if you're using the Netflix Daredevil series as inspiration. The torso and pants come from one of the Ant-Man sets. This is the Hank Pym original Ant-Man suit, and I thought the red and black combo really gave the impression of that gritty, streetwise Daredevil from the TV show. I did have to swap out red arms for the black arms that come with the minifigure, but I opted to keep black hands just for some variety. For the batons, Lego went with red ones, but those are harder to find, and I ended up using black ones just because they're easier to find, and again, more in keeping with how it appears in the show. So if we just kind of look around, you can see the back is quite nice for both of them. And on the whole, I think they're both good, but if I had to say, I think the Daredevil is the one that is the hardest to replicate and probably the nicest. But let me know what you guys think. So there you have it, guys. Instructions on how to make your very own versions of the Punisher, Daredevil, and Blade if you can't go out and get the Daily Bugle set for yourself. Hopefully these gave you an idea of how to create these characters in an affordable way and add them to your collection of minifigures. They're all very cool characters in the Marvel universe, and they are fun to add to your existing collections of the Avengers and X-Men and the like. So let me know in the comments below what you think of the versions that I created and how they compare to LEGO's official versions, and I'll see you next time.